So this past weekend I watched King Richard, and it's the first time I watched the movie. I've never watched it before. I don't know why I had a reluctance to watching it, but I did. But I got around to watching it, and while I enjoyed the film, there was a moment that troubled me a bit, where it was, I can't remember exactly, but I think Venus had won something, or Venus and Serena had won something, and they were celebrating in the car, all of the sisters together, and they were kind of like, oh my god, like we won, or you won, and it's so amazing, and you were so good, and they were really like feeling themselves. And the dad had a real problem with that, and he wanted to teach them a lesson of humility, and he was saying to the wife that he wants them to remain humble, and it kind of just rubbed me the wrong way slightly, because it kind of reminded me of, you know, humbling women. And usually when I hear those terms, it's about humbling a woman who is successful, humbling a woman who is beautiful, and she was celebrating, or they were celebrating this win, and rightfully so. Do you know what I mean? So it kind of got me thinking, and I guess the anthropologist in me, it just never switches off. So I had to go and look at the definition of humble or humility and see what it means, because we use these words so flippantly without really knowing too tough the bigger meaning behind it. Humility is sort of lauded as a virtue, but I want us to examine the essence. And I wrote some notes, so I will be reading from them. I'm just one of those people who need my notes. I cannot memorize for shit. So by definition, being humble means having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's importance. It also means being of low social, administrative, or political rank. And as a verb, to humble someone is to make them feel less important or proud. And to me, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right that you should want to, or that he in that moment should have been wanting to make them feel less important or less proud of something that they worked hard to achieve. Synonyms like meek, submissive, self-effacing, and unassertive all point to the suppression of one's own significance. When I read the definition, I think to myself, is that what successful women should aspire to? Should women dim their light to fit a mold imposed by societal norms, by religious ideals, or cultural expectations? In many cultures and religions, humility is a cornerstone value. It teaches individuals to bow before a higher power, be it God, the universe, as a recognition of our collective smallness in the grand scheme of things. This is valid, and for many, deeply spiritual and grounding. However, the problem arises when this humility spills into worldly spaces where it's weaponized to keep women small. When stepping into the world dealing with mere mortals now, the rules change. Here, you are just as important as anybody else. You deserve to take up space. You deserve to be heard. Humility in these contexts can be a shackle, particularly for women who are taught to stay modest and grateful simply for being invited or allowed into spaces that they actually earned their way into. Successful women often feel the pressure to play small or to downplay their achievements to appear humble. They deflect compliments, diminish their accomplishments, and put others on pedestals while lowering themselves in comparison. But the truth is, if you have been invited into a room, you belong there. You've earned your place, your work, your intelligence, your abilities. They have paved the way for you to be there. You know, there's no need to act grateful for an opportunity that others receive simply by showing up. When it comes to us as women, humility seems to be overemphasized and our abilities overshadowed, and worse still, it's often demanded more of women than men. Successful women are often penalized for owning their power, branded as arrogant, unlikable, masculine, when we refuse to self-efface. And I might have quoted this before, but Halle Bailey in her song says, "I'm a big deal. I get sick and tired of holding it in." And why should any of us have to hold it in? And I can't remember for the life of me, the creator. I was watching a creator, a black woman, and I think she's a writer for maybe the New York Times or something like that, and she was talking about this very thing, this thing of humility making us feel grateful for being invited into spaces that we've earned. You know, like, I studied in university, I put in that work. My eyes even suffered as a result of putting in such work to complete my degree. I done that. I can now call myself a social scientist or an anthropologist. Why should I dumb that down in order to make others feel comfortable? Why should I not take pride in the fact that I was able to be disciplined enough to stay at university for all of those years and come out the end with my degree? And it really isn't about being braggadocious, it's acknowledging. And this video isn't about promoting us as women to be arrogant. Like I said, it's not about putting others down, it's about stepping into your power. And as Lisa Nichols puts it, stepping into your greatness. Taking pride in your achievements doesn't mean that you're diminishing anyone else's. It's about acknowledging your worth, claiming your space, and being unapologetically proud about what you've accomplished. Humility is more about hiding your light. It's about making yourself small to make others feel comfortable. But what I am calling for us to do is to know our worth, stand tall while allowing and encouraging others to do the same. So to every woman who has ever dimmed her brilliance to fit in, stop. You are a big deal. Own it, celebrate it, and shine unapologetically. And remember, you are powerful beyond measure. Keep showing up for yourself, and I'll be here to cheer you on. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.